There's a story about the writer Hunter S. Thompson that I like to believe is true, and I think he was totally crazy enough that he would do this. When he was starting out as a writer, he once sat down and typed out The Great Gatsby by hand just to get the feel for writing a great novel. Isn't that awesome? That you would sit down at the typewriter and just bang out an entire book just to get the feel. I love that idea so much that I did it on Tuesday. It's Thursday today. I sat down and I typed out, not on a typewriter, on a computer, Stephen Pressfield's The War of Art. If you've been a long time watcher of the vlog, then you may have noticed that episode 1 featured at least one quote from The War of Art, if not more than one. I decided to give this project a shot for a couple of reasons. One, because his work, Stephen Pressfield's work, has such an influence on me that I wanted to see if I couldn't get a deeper understanding of the book as I typed it out. But then, more directly, I'm working on a book called The Whipmaker's Apprentice, and when I think about the book, I'm basically through draft number 3, and the book's getting there. It's getting there. It's not there yet. It's getting there. And what I know at this point is that I want the book I'm writing to feel like The War of Art, and so it seemed like a natural test. In this vlog today, we'll be showing you how that went. Spoiler alert, it was really hard. Let's do this. I'm 37% of the way through The War of Art at this point. It's only taken maybe about 2 hours of typing. I'm pretty pleased. On the pace I thought. Hands are holding up well, and I'm learning some things. Like he uses semicolons a lot more than I expected. Lunch break, and then we're back at it. So I'm 85% of the way through the book. I've taken a break to walk around a little bit. I'm in the reference library of Toronto, which has come highly recommended, and it's a pretty impressive building. And it's about time to sit down and finish. What did I learn from typing the War of Art in a single day? One thing I learned was how to spell Schwarzenegger. He came up a few times in there. But then I learned some things that are maybe a little more substantial. One of them being that I could literally type a book in a single day. You know, I've had this idea of writing a book for decades, and I've never gotten over the hump to actually do it. So to just sit down in the morning at 7:15 or whatever it was, start typing, and by 7 o'clock at night have hit the last period of a book, a fantastically beautiful, inspirational, best-selling book. There's something really interesting about that, and I don't mean that. I mean, obviously, the experiences and the insights that make that book the book it is took years and decades to accumulate, right? But I think there's a mental block somewhere up in my little head that kind of got knocked down. You know, now I know what it feels like actually to just bang out a whole book. And I know that it's roughly 23,000 words, so it's a little book. Most books are at least 40,000 words, I think. So that's one thing I learned, that I do have the ability to put the words on the page that results in a book very quickly. Another thing I learned is that a project like that is a lot like running a marathon. There was a phase where I was into marathons and then ultra marathons, 50K, so like 31 miles. I did a 35-mile race in South Africa in 2014. And this felt a lot like that, in that, number one, it was hard. Physically, it was hard over the course of the thing. That whereas you run a marathon and it's going to be your legs start to break down, maybe your nipples start getting chafed. That's a thing. Body glide, if you're a distance runner, is a lifesaver. But like here, it was like my back, my shoulders were tightening up. My forearms, I'm still feeling my forearms today after what was essentially 6+ hours of typing. And the second thing about how it felt like distance running was, as I went on with the thing, I banged out the first, 37% or whatever in 2 hours. And as I went on in the day, it was like every page got longer. I had to work harder for every page, and that's exactly how marathons go. It's like you hit that wall, and then once you hit the wall, you may as well not be moving. And it's like the rest of the. But what I came away with from that similarity was it reminded me why I do love running those races. Those experiences that you've never done it before. So there's part of you that says, can I do this? Right? And it's going to be challenging. It's going to be hard. It's going to hurt in some way. It's going to push beyond the comfort zone. But not in a way that's, jumping out of an airplane without a parachute, right? So still, the stakes are relatively low, but you learn something about yourself. Made me think I need to get out and run more races. I really should be figuring that out, huh? So in my outline for this week's vlog, the dismount was going to be a rousing call to action based on the underlying theme, the message of the War of Art. But why rush? Let's just do it next week. I'd recommend that if you haven't read The War of Art, pick up a copy. It's the sort of book that changes lives. I tell people, had I run across that a decade ago, it's possible I become neither an alcoholic nor a lawyer. It's that good. I think I'd also recommend the typing out a book thing. Pick your favorite book, sit down, type it out. I think I'll be doing it again with other books I love. Please click subscribe, click like, and I'd be interested to hear in the comments below if you were willing to bang out a book on your keyboard, what book would you do? Thanks for the time. I really appreciate it. Until next time, be good out there.